Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle. Today it's gonna be a little bit of a change because we've just been doing OU because OU's been the prevalent thing in 6th Gen. But of course there are two other tiers that are out, actually three right now. There's Ubers, there's Little Cup, and there's UU Beta. But basically UU Beta is OU because people are testing Deoxys in UU, which to me is pretty much a waste, and you know, my friends agree, it's just stupid. The way that UU Beta is being done. But anyways, we're going to be doing some Little Cup. I'm a little reluctant to play this tier a lot because there's a few things that I'm not really happy with. First of all, this guy is still in it because, you know, we have to test all the little babies. But stuff like Berry Juice is back, and if you don't know what Berry Juice is the thing that Shuckle made for you, you know, when you got the half health, he healed 20 HP, and people are like, oh, that's completely useless, it's double the health of Oranberry. Well, in Little Cup, it's broken as frick, so, I'm not a fan of it. People have just been spamming it, and I just got really upset one day when I saw a guy using 4 or 5 Pokemon with Berry Juices instead of Eviolites, because it's just so good. You can use stuff like Dwebble with, Shell Smash, with Sturdy, so now it's down to Sturdy, then it goes back up to Sturdy again, and then just Shell Smash is essentially for free if you don't do a status on it. So it's stupid, and the rationale is because knockoff is improved, Berry Juice should still be tested anyways. It's again, if you have to think about one thing that's going to stop something, obviously it's too good, and it needs more answers. I don't know, that's just me. I think Berry Juice is broken. But regardless, Little Cup, hi guys. This is obviously a 6th Gen team because we have 3 new guys on it actually. So just quickly, we have a Life Orb Shelter with Shell Smash, very standard sweeping one. No Ice Shard actually, I'm running with Rock Blast, Icicle Spear, and Razor Shell. Swirlix, because I didn't want to use Berry Juice, I went with the Resto Chesto set, so I went with Rest, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, because it doesn't get Moonblast, and Flamethrower, which is actually, Fairy Fire is pretty good coverage, and obviously it gets Unburdened, so when you go for the Resto Chesto, then you just, you know, Unburden and sweep a lot. It's a very powerful Pokemon. That's a Scarf Pancham, because people are like, well, how do we use Pangoro or Pancham? Bandit is one thing for Pangoro, but, for this guy, I tried with Scarf because Parting Shot is actually an interesting little niche. It's the only Pokemon that learns it, and it's very good for switching in Heliolisk or switching in Shelter or even Swirlix. Like, it's just a really safe thing because it lowers the attack and special attack by 1 stage, so it makes it as a fun type of U-turn thing, and it can't be prevented either. Like, nothing is immune to Dark, so I can Parting Shot on everything still, and, you know, get that advantage in that case. I just have a Stealth Rocking Anorith with knockoff actually, and yeah, that's all you need to know. Heliolisk is a Life Orb set, just 4 straight attacks, Life Orb, and then of course we have the rest talking Munchlax, because Munchlax is just meant to be a giant pain in the balls. Looking at my opponent's team, fairly strong. Gligar worries me a little bit, but I think I can break through it because it's not a Gliscor where it has Poison Heal. It's just got immunity, so I can't Toxic it, but if I can get a Paralysis off on it with Munchlax, or just chip away at it slowly, I should be okay. In the ways it leads, I didn't really know if he would lead off with a Mienfoo, or if he'd lead off with a Gligar, or anything like that, so I decided Scarf Pancham would be the best option here, and I hope the screen doesn't mess up again, but he leads off with the Mienfoo, and now here I have to confirm what type of item he has. He goes for the Fake Out, but I don't see Life Orb Recoil, so I'm questioning what it could be. It could be Expert Belt, could be anything like that, maybe Oranberry or Berry Juice for all I know right now, but I'm going to go for the Parting Shot so it doesn't do too much damage to my Anorith. As you can see, the -1 helps out a lot, gets Rock Claw in pretty safely. As he goes into the Gligar, maybe predicting the Toxic, I'm just going to go straight for Stealth Rocks. And now he's going to go for Earthquake. Does a fair chunk, because I think I have Defense Investment. But I'm just going to rush it, and he does have the Berry Juice on his Gligar, as opposed to an Eviolite, which is more popular. But it also turns out he has Acrobatics, which is a nice niche, because if you use up the Berry Juice, now you have a boosted Acrobatics. Because you can't run Flying Gem in this in 6th Gen. But I'm going to go for the Body Slam with the Munchlax to try and get the Paralysis on the Gligar. And Mienfoo takes that surprisingly well. I'm like, what the heck is this thing going? So I'm trying to fodder off my Anorith, but it's not working. So I'm just going to knock this thing's item off and head Eviolite. I was like, oh, Eviolite Mienfoo. That's an interesting concept. It was bulky. I'm going, that took hits way too well. That's what was worrying me. So I'm going to go into Heliolisk and I make, or Helioptile. Sorry, this is Helioptile. My mistake, guys. I make a prediction. I thought he was going to go into Gligar predicting the Volt Switch or the T-Bolt, so I go for the Surf. It turns out this is 1 HP, and he takes me out, and that's going to be a big factor in this match because this thing is still alive. But now I can go into Pouffe, because he's going to go for the U-turn. He doesn't have Regenerator from what I saw. I don't think I saw Regenerator. I'll have to confirm that in a little bit. But I can go for a Combine. Unless he's carrying Poison Jab, then I don't really fear anything. But I'm just going to go for the +1 Flamethrower on the Fungus. He might go for Spore, but I have the Chesto Berry, which is why I'm reluctant to switch up to Berry Juice, because this thing is funny, because now I have Unburden, because I used Chesto Berry for myself, right? So he's going to actually switch into his Slowpoke, who is going to take a Flamethrower first. I didn't want to overpredict. I need to Fungus dead. It's a big threat. So if I went for Dazzling Gleam, I think Poison resists Fairy? I can't remember the typing, but I go for Dazzling Gleam, doesn't kill it, and he gets a Toxic off, which limits my Swirlix sweeping potential, which, I mean, is kind of my fault. I could have predicted him to switch out Fungus because it has a Regenerator, but, you know, hindsight is 20/20. He's going to switch out now. I figured I could just spam Dazzling Gleam. It'll hit everything for a fair amount of damage. He switches into Spritzy, and he said he would be using a Swirlix, but Spritzy is, you know, not as standard. But Spritzy takes a little well, so I'm like, okay, let me go for another Combine. I'll get it to +2 before, you know, this thing can't probably do anything to me, so I'm just going to go for +2, and then it should be able to dent everything that's going to stand in its way. He actually goes for Wish, and I'm worried, is he going to go for Protect? I'm not too sure. I'm just going to go for the attack anyways, just in case he doesn't, and it turns out he doesn't, so either he doesn't have Protect, or he predicted me to Combine predicting his Protect, and then he would just get a free Wish off. But, nonetheless, I am getting worn down here slowly by the Toxic as he switches to Mienfoo, and I already know the Fake Out's coming. I didn't want to switch, because I figured this thing doesn't have much more use for me anyways, since it's not going to be doing much damage to his team. His team is pretty damaged anyways. But it turns out I live with 1 HP, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking something with me, and it turns out to be his Mienfoo. Which, to me, I found a little weird, because he has the Fake Out priority, which might help him later, but I guess he doesn't need it to take out Munchlax. He has something else I don't know about in his arsenal, so... anyways... I'm going to go into Pancham because Scarfed and because I outspeed everything. He's going to go into his Mischievous, and I didn't know this, but apparently Mischievous can hit 19 speed. Or no, sorry. That's way later. Ooh, I just blew everything. Wow, I go for the Crunch. It doesn't do a lot of damage. He goes through the list. I'm not too concerned about that. I didn't want Shelter getting burned. I could have switched to Munchlax, but Munchlax can't touch this thing. The most it can do is Whirlwind, because it knows Body Slam, Rest Talk, and Whirlwind. So, I mean, I could have just played around with that, and if Gligar tried to poison me, I could play around with that as well. But at this point, my goal is just to get everything worn down, because I have a plan. My plan is to switch out here, I think. Do I switch out here? I'm trying to get everything weakened so that Shelter can sweep. So what I do is I switch into Munchlax, because Munchlax can most likely take a hit fairly well enough. And he goes for the Acrobatics. I know that's coming. So what I want to do is I'm going to switch back into No, what I'm going to do is let this thing die. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let this thing die. Bring in Pancham. Go for the Parting Shot on whatever he wants to switch into or keep in. And then Shelter with -1 on the opponent should be able to set up a Shell Smash freely and should be able to take his whole team out. That is the plan. Unfortunately, Gligar is such a powerful butthole that his Earthquake or his Acrobatic almost brings me to half. And if I go for Shell Smash, I'm running Life Orb. I'm not running White Herb. He could kill me if he wasn't thing. But the thing was, he wasn't fearing it, so I just went straight for the Icicle Spear, which, I mean, I didn't expect him. I thought he would attack, predicting me to set up, but maybe he thought I was the one who carries the Ice Shard. So in that sense, that would make sense. But unfortunately, this is going to, you know, be the death of me, because Mischievous, which I didn't know, is fast! It's actually faster than Shelter without a Shell Smash. Because I only have like 14 speed, and this thing has 19 speed. So I had no idea that that was even possible. But I go for the Crunch, I'm like, maybe I can win this. Gligar is going to be pretty low after the rocks. If I get a crit, I can actually win this game. I mean, it's again relying on a little bit of hacks. But it is part of the game, so... No, Gligar gets down there, and it turns out that if I hadn't gotten burned, I could have actually won this game, but it wasn't even that. It was just I misplayed the Shelter a little bit. But then again, I also didn't think that he was going to predict the Ice Shard. I thought he would just try an Earthquake, thinking that I would Shell Smash, and actually pick off the Shelter, so I was a little afraid of setting up there. But nonetheless, that was an excellent match. Prime Legionnaire, comment, rate, and subscribe over, and I hope you enjoyed this battle. In the ways of doing more Little Cup, I'll probably keep with this team. I actually switched up Pancham for Mienfoo because this guy was giving me some suggestions on my team. And as much as I don't like to listen to people, I was just trying out Scarf Pancham. He said that was a weakness of my team, but you know what? Scarf Pancham has that niche with the parting shot. I definitely like it. Main downfall, though, is he's just, well, even though he's just a fighting type, his strongest stab fighting move is Sky Uppercut, which is inaccurate and not as strong as something like High Jump Kick. He doesn't even get Drain Punch. He gets Sky Uppercut, so, I mean, he's got an unreliable attacking fighting moves for stab, and it's kind of sucky that way. But I switched up for Mienfoo, and I'm going to try out a Calm Mind 3 attack Swirlix with Berry Juice, because I'm just... I want to try it. I gave him Energy Ball, because Energy Ball, if you don't know, got boosted up to base 90 this generation, so Grass, Fire, and Fairy type coverage should be just absolutely perfect for anything I'm going to come across, but nonetheless, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time with another battle. Until then, have an excellent day, and peace.